Hello, and welcome back to the N-Squared World Domination Society. I don't know if I'm going to use any of this footage. Whoa, that was big eyes. Yeah, I've just gotten back from work, really. I've just realized I really should have set up a proper mic for this. I'm going to do that for the rest of this video. There we go, that's probably better. As you can tell, I've just worked an 8-hour shift. I'm back, basically just refreshing the Paramount Plus page, waiting for Lower Decks to start. And I thought I would share my initial thoughts for the episode, because that might be good. Basically what I'm expecting. So I'm expecting it to be good. It's Lower Decks. I loved the first season of Lower Decks. I'll try and keep this segment brief, though. I'm expecting we'll get the Temerian. We'll see the Temerian this episode. Probably is the new chief of security. I think it occurred to me after I did my last reaction video on the trailer that could probably be the chief. I saw it confirmed, not confirmed, but I saw it in a news article mentioned it, but I don't think I've ever actually seen it confirmed officially. I think they were speculating. And I'm a bit worried about him, to be honest, because the Temerian, I'm almost worried it'll just be like one joke. We saw it in the trailer. Like, maybe you could do an episode of it, but the joke of like, oh, it's the Temerian language, he doesn't understand. I could see that getting old, and you could have argued Shaxx could have gotten old, as it was just the, like, super aggressive joke over and over again. But there's little variety there, so I'm interested to see how this Temerian character goes. I don't think we know their name yet. More Jonathan Frakes. Frakes. Oh, Jonathan Frakes. I don't know why that slipped my mind there. Probably, like, a split of Cerritos Titan would be nice. It's just kind of clocked to me a few minutes before hitting record, like, we're getting more Will Riker, like, properly in a show. Jonathan Frakes is Will Riker. Like, more than just a cameo. I don't know, it's crazy. But, yeah, that's gonna happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we start with that prisoning scene from the trailer, like, oh, I wonder what Boimler's up to, and then he's screaming. But yeah, that'll be more fun. Something I noticed, I don't think I've mentioned this in a video, I can't remember yet, is that Thaddeus Troy Riker, the Riker's kids from Picard, turns 18. It would have been his 18th birthday in 2399. 18 years ago is actually this season of Lower Decks, Season 2. So I'd love it if they made a little nod right there that he has to be born in this season. I joked on the Reddit a little while ago that the ending of Season 1, they were like, joked about Ryza bringing like the right Horgon or whatever. That could have been his conception, because he's got to be born in like, you know, less than about a year's time. Tindy and Rutherford. Of course, Rutherford's lost his memory. I'm really not sure if Lower Decks is going to go for a all-in kind of plot thing, kind of like the finale of last season, or more of a generic-y sci-fi adventure for their opening. I really don't know. I'll be interested to see. Yeah, basically, expectations are high. I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to the first episode. Keep refreshing. Nope, it's still not out. And we're basically waiting for our very impatient friend at Paramount Plus to hit the Go Live button. And while I'm here, I'll just make a quick plug that I just saw the first season of Lower Decks because I've actually been working on Lower Decks Poorly Explained. That's next week's video, so if you want a bit of a refresher or more Lower Decks content, be sure to stay for that, because I'm gonna have to edit it now over the weekend. But next week's video is hopefully Lower Decks Season 1 Poorly Explained. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. You get to. I have to wait. Actually, no, I'm back. There's a good chance this is probably going to go at the beginning of the video, and I'm not going to bother to turn on my mic for this. But, I'm not sure if Lower Decks does next time ons. I think they used to. I don't watch those. I don't want to know what's on those. So if you're talking in the comments, don't mention stuff in those, because I prefer to kind of know I don't like knowing what's going to happen, and so I hate next time's on. I never watch them, so please, try not to mention them. Enjoy this video I just made? I guess, yeah. I love my job! Yes, it's nice to see that Lower Decks is still good, even if it's not quite what I predicted. I will admit, it's kind of weird watching the episodes, knowing that I'm going to do this right after talk to you. I've also just realized I completely forgot to come up with a Poorly Explained for this. I'll have to, watch the season again. But yes, very fun episode. Probably a nice mix of plot and jokes. It made me chuckle a few times. But yeah, really good episode. The few things that struck me instantly watching it. The Cerritos, I knew they redesigned it. I actually saw it on Twitter earlier today, and they were highlighting some of them, and it was real subtle. But then I saw it in the intro for the first time, like, oh no, yeah, that they redesigned it. It looks better. I like it. You could find some comparisons online. I might be able to get it up. This is going to be a bit tight in the editing. But yeah, I really like the new Cerritos. Almost exactly like she used to be, is I think how Freeman said it in the finale of the last season. We got a lot from the teasers and the trailers, actually. It was also weird. Usually I kind of skip those, but of course, 'cause I'm doing the YouTube stuff now, I went real in-depth into them. I kind of wish I hadn't. I prefer not knowing what's coming. But it felt like a lot of the best jokes were kind of thrown into those trailers and stuff and spoiled a bit. Like the final scene is a good example. Even though it still had a lot of good bits, as I proved at the start of this, with the Titan. Bit of extra things in that scene. The Cardassians, I'm glad as well. That was a Dominion War prison break experiment. Dominion War because of the Jem'Hadar ships, in case you missed them. And I think the Klingons were there as well. I don't quite remember. But I was disappointed when we kept seeing the Cardassians, even a bit in Season 1, because they seem to be the old pre-Dominion War Cardassians, as opposed to some new, changed, even in the slightest way, Cardassia after the war. And that's because they were pre-war Cardassians, so it was nice. It was nice seeing that's how they chose to bring them back. And I also I forgot to mention this in the little pre-thing I did as well, but I was wondering if they'd redo the title sequence. I thought that would be kind of fun if they kept having different jokes. I liked the first season. First title sequence, it was real good, but I thought it'd be kind of cool if we got a different one every season. And we didn't, but I like that they revamped the Borg fight a little bit. They added the Klingons and the Packlets, and I kind of hope that as seasons go on, that fight just gets more and more ridiculous. I'm not sure if it was a tactical Borg cube. I think it was just a beefed up Borg cube, but it'd be fun if that little intro sequence got just more and more ridiculous, and if Lower Decks gets a full 7 seasons, it'd be crazy. I'd love it. I think this chicken scratch on my little notes says I like that they had Jennifer, the Andorian, who was the last season. There's a girl who on this ship is named Jen. I kind of like there's another side character, because Lower Decks was great. I think Voyager also did this, but I didn't notice it really, was where they had a lot of constant crew members, where they had, Towel Guy, you have the Helm Guy, the guy Rutherford's dating is also Ops, you have the guy who got promoted to the Titan. There are loads of, it's a crew that's, kind of well-defined, and you keep seeing the same people, so it's nice having, Jen, again, it really helps make the ship feel like it's a proper, real ship, with a real crew. I also love the little joke with Boimler's bunk bed, they're just throwing all the stuff on it. I am surprised, pleasantly, that someone's got, a Gary Mitchell obsession over on Lower Decks, because we get him again. We get a whole episode, basically, referencing that episode. And I like that. I love the Ransom, making some sort of gym, Planet Fitness, basically, is what he was making. I thought it was fun. I loved, the aesthetics as well, the animation with God Ransom. I might try and get my partner to animate a thumbnail for that. But yeah, I love the premise, and I love the execution of the A-plot. The B plot as well really, kind of got me a bit, with, Tendi, Rutherford being different, and, not having that connection with Tendi. Which, of course, he wouldn't. Tendi took it really good at the end of the last season, but, that same connection isn't there, which is, heartbreaking. I mentioned in the next Poorly Explained that, at least I did, I really got to care about that Rutherford-Tendi relationship, and seeing it almost fall apart or go away is, hard, actually. Almost hard to watch, which is weird from Lower Decks, the comedy. But, it was nice to kind of have that balance, where the Orville kind of toned down its comedy later on. If Lower Decks keep it a comedy, but, also embrace that sci-fi stuff, and those stories, and those more non-comedical aspects. I'm also interested, they kind of ended the Mariner-Captain relationship almost immediately. I'm sure it'll be different than it was in season 1, but almost makes me wonder if they kind of went back on the idea. Like, having the captain and Mare cooperate maybe isn't the best. I don't know, it's interesting. I think, giving Mariner completely free reign for a whole season, like she had in this episode, wouldn't be good. But it was interesting. They did also set up that conflict of, like, yeah, she's really not doing what she, like, very publicly doing things she's not supposed to. The captain's even putting in her logs. I found that kind of weird. She was mentioning in her logs that she's given Mariner free reign or something like that. I don't quite remember the wording, but stuff that very much shouldn't be in a log. And yeah, the crew doesn't like it. Ransom doesn't like it. I could see that coming back to bite her, where Admiral Freeman's like, hey, you really messed up. You did a lot of bad. We also had Cetacean Ops mentioned again. I thought we might see it. I know they want to put it in there. That and the Ambujitsu, which is going to be in here at some point, were things they wanted in Season 2, and if they're like, if not Season 2, Season 3. I could see them sitting on Cetacean Ops, bringing it up constantly, and like only showing it in the very, very end. I almost treat it like Enterprise did the chef, and then the final season show off Cetacean Ops, but I thought I could use the thumbnail we prepped for that. Another weird thing I have in my notes, sorry, these cuts might have me doing this a lot, that's because I've set my notes on my bed here. Another interesting thing I noticed is the forklift that dropped a boulder was a levitating forklift. And if, I can't show the pictures of the screenshots because it's the new show, I don't have it on disc, but a levitating forklift. So it's a forklift carrying a boulder, mechanically levitating. Like, why not just levitate the boulder? But I thought funny. I also thought when Ransom was getting hurt, like on the ship, like, ooh, like it looks like he's being kicked in the nuts. I assumed they dropped a boulder on it, but then he was actually just being kicked in the nuts. So yeah, I hope for a bit more Boimler, Riker, like Titan stuff. I hope the Titan is more central in some episodes, other episodes. It's fine, it doesn't have to be every episode split between the Cerritos or the Titan. You could even go back and forth, but I noticed on Memory Alpha, the next episode is, I don't know, someone his eyes open. It's in the Tamarian language, but that means that'll be the Tamarian security officer episode next week, so like the museum stuff we saw. So again, we might not get any, or, barely any Boimler and the Titan stuff. I'd love then if, like, episode 3 is a Titan-centered story. I'd love to get more stuff with Riker, maybe Troy. I don't actually know if Troy's gonna be in this season or not. I don't want Boimler to just be dropped. I guess we know from the trailers he's not gonna be dropped. He's probably coming back to the Cerritos with a demotion, as I talked about in my last review. Not review, reactions. But it is... I hope we get at least one proper Titan adventure before that happens. We probably will, because we have to kind of see his decision to come back. But, yeah, I hope we get 1 or 2, maybe 3, like, good Titan stories. Hey, and Reddit's back online, and the Star Trek Reddit has posted their, episode discussion every week, so I'm going to take a look now and see what some other people are saying about this episode. Approximately 3 months after the event of Season 1, apparently. They keep showing me lights? Yep, good joke. Someone else is saying as well, yeah, they should add more participants to that battle with every season. Here's a good review. I really liked that episode. It was a little stupid, but highly enjoyable. I love the comment Mariner made about Jack's neutral zone. Yep. I'll have to remember that. And the stuff with Tendi and Rutherford was fun, if a little cliche. I really enjoyed the effects. It reminded me of watching shows like X-Men back in the 90s, where you had great animated effects and just a fun time. Great to start the season. Yeah, I agree, actually. A lot of people with Season 1, they thought the episodes were a constant climb, all 10. I disagreed, actually. Really liked 1. I remember Envoys, better on a rewatch, but wasn't my favorite. I kind of liked it, but it was like those old... kind of like the early TNG episodes that you don't really care about. They're not bad, they're just kind of there. This wasn't, it wasn't a Season 1 finale, that's high to beat. It didn't feel like a high, it felt like an average episode, maybe a better average. I had loved it, Lower Decks' average is high. But, I did kind of agree. I wouldn't say it was stupid. I don't think they're meaning that bad. I think probably they mean kind of the plot, kind of in the way... I was gonna say Spock's brain is stupid, but most people don't like Spock's brain. They think I'm weird. But in the way TOS can have a lot of TAS is a good one. In the way TAS has a lot of stupid plots, where like it's bonkers and crazy, but it's kind of like a good kind of stupid, is I think what they were going for. Yeah, I already said my thoughts on the Tendi Rutherford stuff, but the animation I think is the main thing I got from that was the better Cerritos. I think it was slightly better CGI animation as well. I'm not too sure, but it, on top of feeling better designed, it felt better made. And the animation was really what I'm going to remember the most about this episode, is the god powery animation stuff. That was great. I love that. The rainbows and the glowy line bits. Yeah, the animation in this episode was spectacular. Yeah, the that last content was SJ Sharks Fan 12. The reply to that uncertain error is the character continuity is great. It probably was, short of doing like a full push into a character development episode, it picked up on everyone. We even got little hints of how Boimler's doing on the Titan, where it took where everyone was, all the main characters at least, in the last episode, and then just continued their arcs enough to give us satisfied, but leave them open to move on for the rest of the season. I love my job. That's the next comment. Gormagander mural art. Next week, there's the guy on the Reddit who, I don't know if it's a guy actually, there's the person on the Reddit who goes through these episodes, and like within a day or two, they have like all the canon references. That's amazing. I'll be kind of going over his post a bit for this episode next week, but for stuff like this, because I missed that mural art was apparently a Gormagander. Lower Decks, I noticed in my reaction video you saw, which I point over there sometimes, because that's actually where my computer is right now. They had Picard's painting in, like, the museum, in my trailer reaction video, and yeah, apparently they did a mural art of the Gormaganders, which is a very nice touch. Oh yeah, the Miranda class also messed up. I'll be great. I'll pre-record a Miranda class review. Can you even see it? No, it's off frame. Yeah, I was like, great, brilliant. I'll record a review of the Reliant for Lower Decks. Like, pre-record it in a few weeks' time. I'll post it right after the episode. It'll be great. Well, of course, I have 7 of 9, the universe ship, sitting right there. That's next week's video. Well, next week's video is poorly explained. Then it's 7 of 9 ship. I'm gonna lose all the search engine optimization on my Reliant video now. My partner and I have tried to plan ahead with our thumbnails and the art and stuff and getting it right, and I'm planning very far ahead with the seasons, but that's just the nature of the game. I don't know what order the episodes are coming in. Oh yeah, I love how much fun, from Uncertain Era again, I love how much fun Riker's having. The energy in that scene infectious. It is. I love the idea of Riker just, I love my job. He's just going on crazy, almost space cowboy adventures. He's just like loving it. He's just insane, crazy man. I love that take on Riker. And of course, having Jonathan Frakes back, as I said, is wonderful. Santa hates you. Why did Riker shout Red Alert after they were already being chased and shot at? Because Frakes has a clause in his contract where he gets extra bonus for every Red Alert. Yeah, I mean, I got to hear Will Riker say Red Alert again in 2021. I'm happy. Oh yeah, and again, I'm not gonna swear in these videos, and I'm not gonna edit to censor it, but what is it with sci-fi hating pears? Doctor Who does it. The Doctor has hated pears for, what, the past 4 or 5 generations? And now Rutherford also hates pears. I don't really like pears, but I'm curious. I was unaware that if you do a modern sci-fi, you can't have pears. Yeah, and of course it's 11:59. It's not even Thursday. God, I'll talk about that, but not a lot of people have seen the video yet. I might talk a bit more about this in next videos. With the canon stuff, I'll do a retrospective on this. But yeah, I'll record. This video came out at 11:10 p.m. on Wednesday. Is the new video's Thursday, and I'm pretty sure they do PST, Pacific Standard Time, where I am. For their scheduling, because I always joked on Twitter that there was a very impatient person at Paramount Plus who was in charge of hitting the go live button at midnight, and they just wanted to go home, because I've seen it before 11 on Wednesday before, and I've seen it at like 11:59. I have no idea. It's so inconsistent. I thought it might have been a daylight savings problem at first, but then Picard went through past daylight savings time, and still had the problem. Like, I honestly have no idea how they release these episodes, but hey, I'm probably going to get this video out tomorrow, so I'm happy. And yeah, a bit short and sweet, only 21 minutes of recording, which is not as long as I thought it would be. For these 25-minute episodes. But yeah, next week, Lower Decks Poorly Explained, unless I fail at getting it edited in time. But I'm really looking forward to another 10 more episodes. More Star Trek, the best Star Trek currently on air. One of the best in the franchise. Controversial, but yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I love my job. My parents are sleeping in the room above me. I can't be too... Yeah.